Grow a Garden has surpassed 1 billion lifetime visits in under 2 months, reaching over 2.3 million active players at once. So what's the secret behind this incredible success? Is it the gameplay itself, or is there something more at play here? Today we're going to explore why Grow a Garden has captivated millions and become one of the most addictive and relaxing games on Roblox. First, let's break down the basics of the game. Grow a Garden is a sandbox tycoon-style game, and like most games of this genre, its core loop revolves around planting seeds and growing plants on a plot of land. Simple, right? But it's the way that the game mixes elements of randomness, reward, and progression that keeps players engaged, even after hours or days of playing. The heart of the game is the seed shop. This shop refreshes every 5 minutes with a random assortment of seeds. What makes this exciting is that the seeds vary by rarity, meaning that some of them are more common and easy to get, while others are much rarer and harder to find. This random nature keeps players hooked, as there's always a possibility that they'll get that one rare seed they've been chasing for a while. It's like hitting a mini jackpot every time you visit the shop. But it doesn't stop there. There's also a gear shop. This works similarly to the seed shop, refreshing every 5 minutes with gear that helps improve your gardening process, and these items vary in rarity as well, giving players the chance to get gear that will make their experience a little smoother, more rewarding, or even more efficient. And once again, this randomness means that each time you visit, there's a small rush of excitement as you wonder if you'll find the perfect tool for your garden. Finally, there's the pet shop, where you can buy eggs that hatch into pets. The catch here is that the pet shop refreshes every 30 minutes, so you don't have that same fast-paced rush as the other shops, but it still plays a role in giving players something to look forward to. The eggs in this shop are of varying rarities, and sometimes they'll hatch into something rare and special, adding yet another layer of excitement. Now that we have a basic understanding of how the game works, let's dive into why players spend so much time playing it. At its core, Grow a Garden is a serene experience. It's not a competition, it's not a race, and it's certainly not about having the fastest reaction times. This game operates on a much slower, more relaxed pace, where the most you really need to do is check in every 5 minutes to see if you've gotten any new seeds, gear, or pets. In a world where so many games, especially on Roblox, are fast-paced and competitive, Grow a Garden stands out as a place where you could take a breather. Games like Blocks Fruits or Dead Rails demand constant engagement, quick reflexes, and a competitive edge, but with Grow a Garden, the pressure's off. It's not about winning or beating other players, it's about enjoying the process. You can open the game, plant a few seeds, check out the shops, and then go back to whatever else you were doing, whether that's talking with friends, watching a show, or even just scrolling through your phone. The beauty is in the simplicity and in the calm. This is where the magic happens. Grow a Garden offers escape. In the hyper-competitive, fast-paced world of gaming, it's a safe haven where you don't have to worry about constant action. It gives you space to relax while still having the opportunity to experience the heights of unpredictability and luck, much like you would in a low-stakes game of chance. Speaking of unpredictability, let's talk about the key to Grow a Garden's addictive nature: randomness. Every time you plant a seed, you don't just get a standard plant every time. Sometimes the seed grows into something massive. Other times, it's just a normal-sized plant. That variation is part of what makes the game so satisfying to play. The suspense of not knowing what your seed will grow into is something that keeps you engaged, even when you're just idly tending to your plot. But that's not the only exciting part. When your plants finally grow, there's always a chance they'll bear special fruits. These fruits come in a variety of different types and rarities. There's the gold fruit, the rainbow fruit, and during special events, there's even themed fruits like lunar, chilled, or wet. These rare fruits are what make the game so rewarding, especially when you've been waiting a long time to see if your plant will yield something extraordinary. This random element, paired with a sense of progression, is the key to why players come back to Grow a Garden time and time again. It taps into something very fundamental about human nature: our desire for rewards and the thrill of uncertainty. Whether it's a simple coconut seed or a massive cactus, the game keeps us hooked because we'll never know when we'll hit that jackpot. And that leads us to the psychological aspect of why Grow a Garden is so effective at keeping players glued to the screen. At its core, the game uses principles similar to those found in slot machines or roulette tables, for example. Just like these gambling systems, Grow a Garden triggers a release of dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure and reward. It's what makes us feel good when we experience something exciting or when we achieve a goal. And in Grow a Garden, every time you get a rare seed, grow a huge plant, or even get a special fruit, your brain releases dopamine, reinforcing the behavior and making you want to keep playing. But dopamine isn't the only chemical at play here. When you're waiting for your plants to grow, for the shop to refresh, anticipation builds. This anticipation triggers the release of adrenaline, another neurotransmitter that adds to the rush you feel when you're about to get something rewarding. Adrenaline heightens your awareness and excitement, which further reinforces the desire to keep playing. This combination of dopamine, adrenaline, and anticipation makes Grow a Garden incredibly addictive, even though it doesn't have the fast-paced or intense action of other games. It's the subtle buildup of rewards over time that hooks you in. So, with all this in mind, is Grow a Garden really worth playing? Well, the short answer is yes, and here's why. There are thousands of games, on Roblox or otherwise, that tap into the same psychological triggers. This includes tower defense games with gacha mechanics, RNG-based games, and even dungeon RPGs. They all play on the same principles. They keep you coming back because they know how to engage your brain and give you rewards that feel good. But here's the difference. Grow a Garden doesn't bombard you with constant action or overwhelming decisions. It gives you the freedom to relax while still keeping you engaged with its random rewards. What makes Grow a Garden stand out, especially to me, is how it weaves these psychological tactics into a game that feels uniquely personal. Every player's garden is different, shaped by their choices of seeds, gears, and pets, and even where to plant them. When you get that rare seed or when your plant grows into something huge, it feels like a small personal victory. It sets you apart from the other players, and that sense of individual achievement is part of what makes the game so satisfying. Even though the game uses psychological tricks to keep you engaged, it doesn't feel exploitative. It's a relatively low-stakes game compared to others that rely on pay-to-win mechanics or constant grinding. It's something you can play in the background without feeling pressured, all while still reaping the rewards of these small hits of dopamine here and there. Grow a Garden may follow familiar patterns in game design, but it does so in a way that feels fresh and unique. It offers a tranquil, serene experience that allows players to unwind, chat with friends, or even just enjoy the thrill of randomness while watching a show or scrolling through social media. It's a game that knows how to engage the human mind without overwhelming it, and that balance is why it's so captivating. So, is it worth playing? Absolutely. In the world of gaming, it's a perfect example of how psychology, design, and player experience come together to create something that's not only addictive, but also enjoyable in a way that feels effortless. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know down in the comments if you've played Grow a Garden and what you think about it.